everyone, and welcome to Cellular Healing TV. I'm your host, Meredith Dykstra, and this is episode number 174. We have our resident cellular healing specialist, Dr. Dan Pompa, on the line, and today we welcome special guest, Dr. Shayne Morris. We have a very interesting topic for y'all today, and it is the skin microbiome. And Dr. Shayne is no stranger to Cellular Healing TV, but if you haven't caught him on the show before, let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Shayne. Dr. Shayne is one of America's leading molecular biologists and herbalomic experts, and his work centers on the body's epigenetic response to herbal nutrition. His leadership and the clinical results of the supplementation products he has pioneered has earned Systemic Formulas a global reputation as the world leader in cellular healing. So welcome back to Cellular Healing TV, Dr. Shayne. Great to see you.
Thanks, Alex. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's been a while, and I mean, you're no doubt our favorite biochemist. So, but we had to bring you on because of a breakthrough product. Look, every show we do about the skin ends up to be some of our #1 shows. So, no doubt this one. So, you guys are going to hear about an amazing product that Dr. Shayne actually developed, and I have to say, you know, we've heard a lot about the microbiome of the gut. Even the oral microbiome. I mean, we hear a lot about how bacteria affect our immune system, how bacteria are responsible for even how our brain works. I mean, all these things. But now lately, there's more talk about the skin microbiome. So, you know, you've developed a breakthrough product that we're going to talk about, which, by the way, is like no other product on the market because we've tested them all. This was the only one with actual bacteria that we tested. And Meredith, you were in some of that testing, giving Dr. Shayne products that you were using for your skin that didn't test out. We couldn't find bacteria in it. But Dr. Shayne, talk a little bit about the skin microbiome. Why is it important? What is it? And let's start there. Go from there.
Yeah, so it is an amazing topic, and you're right. We've focused so much on the GI tract because its relationship to our overall health, right? The gut-brain connection, the gut related to all these inflammatory diseases, which of course then are related to autoimmune. Now, the amazing piece here is that once we had the technologies to start looking at these microbiota, we then ask ourselves, where else does the microbiota live? And of course, you mentioned there's the mouth, and then there's the urogenital for women. The last frontier became the skin. Why? Because the skin is the most diverse area we have. The gut, you know, has the same temperature, same moisture. It's always dark. There's no oxygen. So we know the kind of environment it is. It's pretty much the same from top to bottom for the most part. There's little variations in the mouth and the anus, but it's much more easily to replicate. But the skin, on the other hand, you've got oily zones, you've got dry zones, you've got hot zones, you've got cold zones, you've got all these global, what do we call them? Ecosystems, right?
It's kind of like the Earth, right? I mean, you got your
just like the
cold zones, you got your really humid zones, you got your arid zones, right?
That's right. It's just like the Earth, and because of that, there's a lot of diversity, a huge amount of diversity. So we said, okay, we know that, you know, from a detox standpoint, the skin is one of our detox pathways. Wow, we need to consider the skin. The skin is the first barrier to entry for a lot of pathogens. Okay, there's another reason to study the skin. Finally, the skin is probably the second to third most abundant immunological site in our body, right? The gut is the first, being the gall, but the skin is right up there second. And it's our largest organ of our body. So why do we ignore the skin? Not only to mention that, it's what we look at every day. It's what we see, it's feel, and it's all of our senses. Everything that it contacts the world around us is through our skin. Our eyes are, you know, our skin is the way that we touch the world. And it's amazingly influenced by the microbiota. So we looked at that and said, how can we study those way back, Dan? When you and I started studying microbiota, what now, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? The skin didn't have the tools. Now that we have the tools, we started down the road of what do we do about the skin microbiota? How do we address the health of the skin microbiota? And up until recently, it was through the gut, because there is a gut-skin connection. When you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy skin for the most part. You know, there's some healthy people or healthy guts have healthier skin. Okay, so we now know there's a skin-gut connection, but how do we address the skin inward to the gut and the gut outward to the skin? We're getting better.
On some of my research on this, I was shocked actually to find that the skin microbiota affects the gut. And I was like, well, I'm back and forth, meaning that, they learned through some studies that, oh my goodness, this microbiotic actually can affect the gut. And like I said, to my surprise, I never would have thought that would have been true. And I was shocked even. So
right.
This really applies to people's health. So if you've had trouble fixing your gut, into this show, obviously, if you're concerned about your skin in any way, whether it's eczema, colitis, and you should hear some of the testimonies that I've had, or just this odd skin condition, listen to this show, because, but my point is, it affects more than just the outward appearance. I know so many people watching this, that's what you're concerned with. But it really does go deeper than that. This is more than just skin deep.
It really is more than skin deep. Yeah. And on that note, let's make a new triad. We now have, we know of all the triads in the body, right? There's the liver, adrenal, pituitary axis and stuff. Now let's look at the new triad related to the microbiota, and that triad is the skin, gut, brain axis, right? We now know the brain-gut axis and the gut-brain axis, right? That is a reversible axis. You just mentioned the skin-gut, the gut-skin axis. On your show, I think we should propose there's a skin-brain, brain-skin axis. So all three of those make a new triad for us to try to understand. And anecdotally, it's true. When you think about when you're emotionally wrecked, your skin becomes wrecked. Your gut becomes wrecked. When your skin is wrecked, you're emotionally wrecked. You're mentally wrecked. You're psychologically wrecked. Your dopamine's changed. So this axis, although I think we're the first people proposing it today, I do believe it exists. I believe that the brain and the skin are intimately related, and we know using this product and using other research that we're affecting things in people. And you talk to any teenager with acne and tell me they're not depressed, right? Tell me that they're not psychologically impacted. Sometimes their neurotransmitters are at an all-time low, and it's because of their skin, when you think about it, right? And then their gut's a wreck. And we know from many anecdotal, I think that's a real pursuable, and it's something we want to deal with. And this product was one of those ways to do that. We come at things, Dr. Pompa and I think you and I come at things from people that are in a really bad place, but this could also be people that are in an okay place and they can benefit from it. You can be healthy and benefit from it, right? Yeah, you don't have to be a wreck to benefit from this work we're doing. You can be, I use it every day. I'm not a wreck per se, but I use it. I've used it on infants now. At your Atlanta show, I had at least 24 testimonials come up to me at your Atlanta show, showing me pictures of how it's changed people, how the skin microbiome product, Skin Colonizer, changed people. And it was amazing to hear. It was an amazing experience. Before we talk about the product, I'll let you chime in.
Well, you know what? I just had a client yesterday that literally said, we were going through, her products. I said, oh, how is the Skin Colonizer working for you? Oh my gosh, I love that product. So I've seen it work on stretch marks. I've seen it work on, the psoriasis. I've seen it work on just, the impossible area of skin, which they're not sure what's going on. I could go down the list. And I have some autoimmune skin issues that has made a dramatic difference on. One of the things that I had, when we first, showed this product or debuted the product, whatever, it was at a seminar here in Utah, and I did a lecture about how to apply it after a far infrared sauna. And because you literally in the far infrared sauna, you're opening up those skin pores, you're making the soil basically ripe to put this on. Now you could put it on anytime. After a hot shower is like when I typically put it on because it's easy, but after a far infrared sauna is some of these really hard skin cases is when I have them apply it. And the results have been absolutely spectacular. There's something that happens when you go from hot to cold this change in the microbiome starts to occur. So applying it right then, I think there's, some magic in that. And I talked about that in my lecture. So, no doubt we're going to get the question of when to apply it. I think after you're cleaning your skin is a great time. And especially if you want even more of a reaction, do it after you do a far infrared sauna, hit the cold shower, make that temperature change, challenge the microbiota, and then add the Skin Colonizer after. So, you don't even have to do the cold shower if you're not one of those. That's me. I do that. I try to create that adaptation and, get that microbiota to change. But anyways, so we're going to get that question that's answered. So let's talk about the product a little bit, because, we tested, you tested, we sent you some products that, and, I don't want to name names, but they were the leading products out there as far as, boasting about, and believe me, they are the leading products because Meredith found them. So they were boasting about their bacteria and, in their product and how it was amazing for the skin. We brought it to the lab. We tested all of these products, and I think you found some other ones, and you couldn't find any living bacteria in the product. Is that correct?
Yeah, we tested, I think in the end, I tested somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 different products.
Wow.
And at the end, you're right. We looked at that and said, okay, what's going on with these products? Why can they claim that? So I started to really dissect the labels as well. And in many cases, you can see that the title of the product is Probiotic Cream. But when you start dissecting the label or looking at what they do, go to their website. I went to every website, and you see that what they did in many cases was they take a probiotic, like something you buy over the counter, a lactobacillus or a bifidobacterium. They grew it in a let's say a liter. They killed it, and they used that ferment as an ingredient. So it's not the worst case scenario. Some of these products were using dead bacterial components as part of their product. However, that's not the ideal scenario either, is it? Because there are some attributes to the metabolites of bacteria, no doubt. We've studied those for years. But it's somewhat deceiving when it reads probiotic, and it took me months to figure all this out. And you're right, none of them was alive. Now, I also found something about regulatory that kind of tipped the scales. In the cosmetic industry, you can't have live organisms. So this is a dietary supplement that you can apply topically, because the cosmetic world can't legally have live organisms. There's some exceptions in Europe, and so I bought the European products. And the European products that I had shipped over here were on their last leg. About a week of shipping killed them. So then I asked myself, okay, I've been spending years on this project, and I can tell you from that experience, it's really hard to keep probiotics alive out of their element. When they're not happy, they're not alive. And so it took me years. I studied these creams, we tested, we tried all sorts of iterations ourselves, and these guys would die. So then I said, well, what is it that the body, how does the body keep these guys alive? Because they're on the skin, and the skin's a horribly harsh environment. It's exposed to everything. How is it that they're living? Well, your body produces these hydrolipid or sebaceous fluids. Those fluids become the key here. The bacteria love and can live in these oily, water, oil, sebaceous hydrolipid layers, right? So what we did is I looked at all the oils, or all the breakdown of a sebaceous fluid or a hydrolipid fluid, all the fatty acid content, and amazingly, Dr. Pompa, it's omega-6, a little bit omega-3, and waxes, right? So there's this beautiful ratio again of mostly omega-6s. Yeah. There's some fatty acids, there's some waxes. So we rebuilt that same profile using and vegetable or plant-based oils. It's in the formula.
Yeah,
and they survived. The bugs survived in the oil, and that was the key.
And how long you've been testing these products? I mean, we've had them now for a while, and you keep testing some of the ones just sitting out. And how are those tests coming up? Meaning, how are the bugs living now?
Yeah, the bugs, they're over 6 months old, still doing fine. Some are more sensitive than others, and so what you'll find if you were to test my products is you'll find that my label claim is below what's actually there, because I'm accounting for some death, some die-off. So when you first buy the product, it's going to be way higher than the actual label claim of 1 billion, because I need to allow for some dying as well. And some of them are sensitive. Some of the bifidobacterium, I have to add more of them. Now, the fun thing about this formulation, so we have the hydrolipid-based formula. Let's look at the probiotics. There's two categorical ways to think of the probiotics. There's the lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, excuse me, the lactococcus, and the bacillus species. Those are all species that are known to positively benefit. There a lot of them are soil bacteria. They benefit your skin, but they don't live on your skin. They're transient. They do what your sauna does. They kind of shake things up. They produce the antimicrobials. They help get rid of pathogens, but they're transient. But they produce a lot of really fun things while they're on your skin. The second category is the Staph xylosis and Staph epidermidis. Those are commensals. Those get on your skin at any age, and they start to train your immune system to behave. They're the ones that stay there, and they outcompete Staph aureus, they outcompete Streptococcus, they outcompete Pseudomonas, and they outcompete Propionibacterium acnes. So they become these really amazing guys to stick around because they get rid of the guys that are dangerous. They have an arsenal.
Yeah. So what, you know, how we're seeing an improvement in these autoimmune skin conditions, which by the way are so numerous. It's probably those guys that are having the greatest impact, right? Because, you know, if your body's own immune system is attacking certain bacteria, other bad guys then can start to overtake. And these guys cause that balance in between.
That's right. That's exactly right. And these guys will stick around, and they're the tougher ones too. So when they're in this formula, they don't die because they're used to that sebaceous oil. And then when they go on your skin, they can take up residency because they want to be on your skin. And they're the ones, all the studies point down this path, even the ones that I haven't done, but all the university studies show that the healthy Staph epi and the healthy Staph xylosis for Treg maturation, right, to help your T cells, your T lymphocytes to mature and behave properly so they don't create an immune response. And they also help outcompete those other guys so then your skin isn't losing the tight junctions. We talked about that triad. When you think about the skin, I want everybody listening to think, okay, we have brain, gut, skin. I want you to think of the skin tissue as so incredibly similar to the GI tract or the blood-brain barrier. There are tight junctions. There's the immune system present. There's the neurological system present. All these systems have to be happy. And one of the ways to do that is maintain a healthy tight junction. If you do not maintain a healthy tight junction, the immune system goes awry. We start inflammation. We start autoimmune. Well, guess what? These commensals like Staph aureus and Staph xylosis help keep that tight junction happy.
And let me bring that into perspective for people, what we're talking about. Everyone, well, not everyone, most of our listeners have heard about leaky gut. And that's basically a compromise of your tight junction, these barriers in your gut that keep the stuff you're digesting in the gut not going into your bloodstream, into your immune system, creating inflammation, ultimately making you feel bad. Nobody wants leaky gut, leads to autoimmune and other problems. Then we have the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective barrier so stuff doesn't get in your brain, toxins, etc. You know, bad guys, bacteria, pathogens, very, very important. And then we have a tight junction that you're saying in the skin that protects, obviously, our immune system, etc. You know, some of the stuff that I had read talked about this important communication between bacteria from your skin to your gut to your blood-brain barrier, and I'm sure other tight junctions, right? But the point is these bacteria are communicating, and that's why when you affect the skin microbiota, you're affecting the gut, you're affecting the brain, or the vice versa, right? I mean, so this is an important communication network that we don't even really understand. We just know it exists. Am I correct on this?
That's exactly right. We're just barely scratching the surface on this. You know, we understand the gut a little bit better than anything else, but we're now seeing the connection between the gut and the skin, and there's communication because some of the organisms that we eat affect the skin immediately, right? Immediately. There's a communication that happens just like a pinprick, right? There's this amazing, intense way that our body is communicating with not only the microbiota, but with itself and to the brain. So again, we've got this new triad, the gut, brain, skin axis. I think this is an amazing triad that helps us understand what's happening during detox. the skin is one element of that we know it gets affected. Meredith mentioned something earlier before we got on about her skin responding to a detox, and people on the packages, all of the prep, brain, body, these detoxing reactions some people are having are related to both the gut, the brain, and the skin. And now we have, an additional tool. One of Dr. Pompa's responsibilities at the Next Sunshine is to take us to the next level, right? There's so many people getting involved in the first level of detox, but there's more levels. There's going to be more layers of this. And as toxic as our world is, it isn't going to end. This is not a story that's going to go away. This story is going to continue to become a book, become a movie, whatever you think of in analogies. And the skin is now an integral part of this. And we have a sleeping giant here. Nobody else, like you mentioned, has the ability to address the skin microbiota like we do now. There's nothing else on the market that can address the skin microbiota in this fashion.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Meredith, you could show the product, actually. It would be great. You could see that. Yep, there it is.
Yep. Oil.
By the way, when we say bugs, we're talking bacteria. Shayne and I kind of say bugs, and people are like, what? That doesn't sound good. I don't want bugs on my skin. But yeah, so, I mean, it is remarkable. One of the studies that I actually showed was they took mice. These were mice who were not able to lose weight, weight loss resistant. Obviously, a gene was triggered, etc. And they took the mice from a hot environment to a cold environment. It's not kind of like infrared sauna to the hot cold shower. And the mice, after doing that a few times, they realized the mice were then it kicked in weight loss. Well, in the study, it talked about, they believe it was the change in the microbiota, the microbiome, that actually triggered the change. Now, one of the theories is that it actually was the microbiome here on the skin that actually responded to the cold temperature, sent obviously signals to the gut microbiome, had an effect on the hormones, which had an effect on the weight loss. So there's just an example of, they didn't know exactly what was going on, but they measured the microbiome, they saw the change, and it was due to the temperature rate, the regulation. So, we know that this communication exists. Right now,
that group might have taken it a step further, because yesterday a publication came out from a group where they've now linked that change to insulin resistance. When they changed the microbiota, the insulin resistance went away. When they gave the bad microbiota, the insulin resistance kicked back up. So now you have skin microbiota relating some way, shape, or form to insulin resistance. That's an amazing, they're going to be
weight gain, which will cause weight gain and loss. Exactly. Right. Dude, send me that study, man. Come on, you got to send me that. We got to share that. I need that.
Yeah, so I guess I'm busy. I forget to perpetuate the crazy stuff that's going on.
You got to spread the knowledge, because I put that on top of my knowledge base, and you put stuff on your knowledge base. So okay, let's talk about, people want to hear, okay, what do I use this for? I talked about how we use it, but you don't need much either. I guess I didn't answer that. Just coat the skin. I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So it goes a long way.
On skin that has obvious issues where it's obviously inflamed, whether it be a rash or a dermatitis or any obvious association, put it there, and you got to do it 2 or 3 times a day. Once a day doesn't work. I noticed that sometimes that causes it to, it soaks in. It's an oil, but it doesn't stay oily because the waxes help trap in the oil and keep the moisture in there too. But you do have to apply it multiple times. For the worse the case, the more you apply, I've noticed. And furthermore, we are going to be in the future coming out with the equivalent pill so that we can work inside out, outside in. So the similar organisms will be dosing orally, and then you simultaneously work that with a pill. I did a recent study on 5 people here at work, and their skin conditions improved more rapidly when they were doing inside out, outside in, so to speak. So that led me to the concept that we need to go down that path soon. But right now we're getting amazing results outside in, which is topically.
Okay, people are going to ask, can you take this orally?
Yeah, you can. It's a little bit off-putting because it's oily, but it's perfectly safe for oral consumption. It's just different, yeah.
is it good for the oral microbiome? If someone has something gum related, teeth related, is it good for that? Or
That's
is it more?
Great question. It wouldn't certainly be harmful, but in terms of the benefit, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, that's interesting, because you would know better than I how similar this, these gum. I mean, this is tissue very similar to this tissue. Slight, obviously differences, but still, there might be a very similar microbiota here versus around the gums than it is on the skin. So who knows? But talk about some of the other things. I mean, what people are going to ask, well, what about wrinkles? I mean, the microbiota affects the collagen, elastin, which is a big part of your aging of the skin. Talk about that. We talked kind of about the autoimmune skin, but what about acne too? So wrinkles.
So far, with older person acne, we've tried it on some people that are in their 20s and 30s, and it did improve the acne response for sure. What we haven't still yet tried it on are teenagers that are extremely oily. They're going through puberty and their skin is changing dramatically. It's one of the few times in your life where the microbiota changes from a previous to a adult microbiota. I don't have an answer to that yet, but so people that have already gone through puberty, it is beneficial for acne as well. And the wrinkles and things, the only thing I've gotten feedback there, because I haven't done anything in a more analytical clinical setting, is that the hydration went up. And as long as they were drinking good water, the new formula allowed the skin to stay more hydrated, which clearly keeps wrinkles at a minimum. They're still there, but the hydrated skin is a much better looking skin.
It's like I said, we can't make claims because we don't have that study, but ultimately knowing how the microbiome of the skin affects collagen, elastin, I mean the tissues, etc. I mean, obviously there's an effect, but before you make the claim, you have to prove it. Yeah. Scientifically, we can identify it, but there's more to it than that.
I do agree with you. I think we're onto something. I think this is the beginning of what's going to become a very large body of evidence. I think that we're just approaching the beginning of what's going to be good for our skin. Mm-hmm. I think that the past, where we've thought about skin as being slathering on things and either killing or slathering, was now an outdated concept, or will become an outdated concept. I think this new approach to the skin, I think you're right. I think the tissues that will be exposed to a healthy microbiome are going to produce more collagen. I think they're going to be more hormonally regulated. I think there are going to be so many benefits as we move forward. I think it's just the beginning of this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we're way ahead right now in this area. I mean, I know we're ahead just in the microbiota, the microbiome. Now we're pulling in the skin and just learning. I mean, our feedback with skin conditions, autoimmune, has been spectacular. We know that there's something bigger here. Like you said, even for detoxification, what is it doing? We don't have all the answers yet, but we are definitely onto something here. And
we are, and we're not alone. You guys have all heard about the Human Microbiome Project. There's a subset of that project that was focused on the skin, and it was being done at UCSD, San Diego. Well, just recently, that group spun off a company that is looking hard at doing what we're doing. They are fervently trying to create products that affect the microbiota of the skin. So we're not alone, and there are amazing people in this work. So not only are we not alone, those people that are even from what we're talking about today can be self-assured that the rest of the world is going to come to the same conclusions that we're talking about today. It's just going to take more time for them. But yeah, we're definitely on the forefront of some amazing stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Meredith, I know you have some questions because, you've been using the product.
Yeah, I have, and I've been really enjoying it. It's really helped me. I know I shared with you, Dr. Pompa and Dr. Shayne, before the broadcast. I had like a crazy skin reaction last week, and I don't know, I think it might have been synergistic with some of the detox I've been doing and things, not to scare anybody, but these things come out of our bodies, and our skin is a major detox pathway. So I have been using the Skin Colonizer, and that's been really helpful with kind of after I had gotten, I woke up last Monday to all of these welts all over my face. It was crazy. And then the bumps have pretty much healed, but now it's become dry.
Yeah.
So this has been really helpful for the dryness. And but just kind of, I was thinking too of, you know, our concept of variation and how important that is with, you know, with diet and exercise. And I'm wondering too if it would be good to vary this product with some other ways of topically getting bacteria on our skin as well. So I know, for example, in the past, I used to do like a yogurt face mask, and or even like dirt or clay or things like that topically on the skin. What do you think of the variation?
Yeah, diversity is king. Not to sound politically correct, but diversity is a great thing. Not only that, you know, we're looking at a bunch of other products for that reason, not just this, but we're looking at some other things to help create the diversity. And the two types of probiotics in this product are there for that reason. There's the commensals and there's the ones that are transient to help create that diversity. And another study that's shown recently is that when you add organisms to a tissue, whether it be the gut or the skin, that don't reside there, they still cause enough change in the microbiota that they can actually reverse dysbiosis. Just by the mere fact of their presence being there, shaking things up, they themselves can reverse dysbiosis by being transient. You don't have to live there to help benefit the skin. So diversity is an amazing thing, in my opinion.
Awesome. And what are some other ways that we can build a healthy skin microbiome other than just the topicals? I know that obviously has to do a lot with our gut and the inside as well.
Yeah, diet for sure. I mean, we know that you know, the future products are going to include some botanicals, but the mantra that we're now telling people when it comes to the skin is inside out, outside in nutrition. So we're trying to partner or push out the concept that you work topically from outside in, but you have to work inside out, which is dietary, the botanicals, the detox packages that we're talking about, the brain prep, you know, the TCD work that you guys are doing. That in itself, I guarantee you, changes the skin microbiota as much as it does the GI microbiota. And these are all beneficial for long-term health, right? It takes a while, but for long-term health of the entire ecosystem, that's all good. So inside out, outside in is our new mantra.
Obviously rotating the fermented foods and being in the dirt, and you know, and maybe we want to mention too, just all of the antibacterial cleansers on the market, and just the culture of fear around bacteria on our skin, but just a reminder that we need it in the right doses. And then even just putting it on our skin, you know, might be a new idea to some. I know not a lot of our listeners, but it's so important to, you know, remove the idea that we need to get rid of this bacteria and that it's bad, but we need that healthy balance to have a healthy skin and healthy gut and healthy body.
Yeah, I've got a small group of people that are on the prep, the body, the brain, and they are also they're actually, I'm sure you guys know who they are too, but what they called in and told us is they also took Bind and they opened up a bunch of capsules of Bind and they made Bind face masks.
Oh, wow.
Every night, and then they would do the skin microbiome following the face mask.
That's smart.
They're reporting amazing results with that idea, right? And I thought, how brilliant. I'd never even thought of that.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, it was really fun to hear. People are expanding our knowledge just through their own experimentation. And it's really fun to see this take off, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a clay mask. I mean, you're pulling. Look, we know that, you know, again, one of the benefits of doing it after a far infrared sauna, yeah, it's the adaptation. However, it also empties those pores, right, of toxins that would actually have a negative effect against those bacteria, you know, basically colonizing, if you will, right? So you're opening up the pore, getting rid of toxins that would kill the bacteria. So that's one of the reasons why far infrared sauna works too. But the mask would do the same thing. The Bind would pull out toxins, open up those pores, get rid of the chemicals, and leave a better. It's like kind of getting rid of bad weeds, right? It's or clearing your soil of glyphosate that kills things, right? It's like, and now you got this great soil. So it's good. I like that.
And the skin microbiota has the potential to convert toxins into worse toxins, just like our gut does, right?
Well, you know, one of the things, you know, absolutely, you know, we're talking about this connection, the brain, the skin, the gut, you know, and of course we know that the detox affects the gut microbiome, right? And, you know, utilizing now thinking of the Skin Colonizer is opening up this other pathway. And we know these bacteria are feeding these bacteria. Okay, so as we're thinking about this triad, what are some of the things that you would say would be good for the brain? I always love the pituitary because it's like so poisoned, right? And neurosin, but what are some other things perhaps that affect the blood-brain barrier, and with those?
Yeah, that's a great question. So clearly, I think when we're looking at the barriers, it's a wonderful thing to add to your protocol, the L-Gut, right, which is the leaky gut product. L-Gut is amazing for the tight junctions.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
the other piece would be, as you mentioned, the Calm and the Neurosin. Amazing results with Calm and Neurosin. And people that, and I'll tell you, some people in your group have added Neurosin to the brain phase, and they're reporting back to systemic great results there too. So I guarantee you that is related to this whole gut-brain skin connection.
Yeah, no, exactly. We added a lot Neurosin, for that reason, helps that blood-brain barrier and obviously even just the brain in general, which is really what's poisoned. GB is another one. The pituitary. It's such a big game player as far as regenerating the brain. So Calm, Neurosin, GB, L-Gut, the Skin Colonizer.
Exactly.
All really important. Oftentimes we even need to support the thyroid and the adrenals more. So those are a couple other considerations that I teach on. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, excellent. And there is one other kind of secret we have, and that's the number one, which is the hypothalamus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that together, I mean, you can do a lot with just what we've talked about. There's a lot of tools that can go a long way, right? I mean, we love simplicity, which is what those packages create, but going to the next level, it's nice to have those additional tools to.
Yeah, those are some of the things that we do, for sure. But so what other, as we, think about using this product, I'm thinking vaginally, I'm thinking, where am I, what other possible uses?
Yeah, I think so far I haven't heard the vaginal part, but so far, and that's totally reasonable, it works. It can be used in every orifice in every part of your body. I've used it in my ear, I've used it all over my body. We focused, since its introduction, we focused on inflamed tissues, right? Tissues that we've had trouble with. But there have been a group of people, healthy people, that are putting it, using it as a daily moisturizer. And the only complaint I've had about that is they go through it more quickly than the people using it as a more specific colonizer. People using it as a daily, they just go through the bottle much more quickly. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a little more expensive, but it's an amazing testament that it's good for all skin types. There's been very little backlash. There's been a few people that put it on their skin and had a very, very temporary, less than a 24-hour response to it. And then by the next day they were using it, they were thrilled again. And that was even very isolated. Out of the 1,000 people using it, it was maybe 2 people that have reported any adverse response to it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you can use it pretty much anywhere. I use it on my scalp. Microbiota, these healthy microbiota they'll actually outcompete things like fungi. Warren mentioned that it's helping on a project he's working on. It's helping, and that's a fungal related issue. Dandruff. Yeah, it's all fungal, and it can help out.
Versicolor, right? Exactly. I mean, it's a fungus that basically lives on you forever. I know it's like nothing works for that. People use some glue and different things, but evidently it's working on it. So yeah, just yet another idea.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm not jumping the gun, but I really do hope it works for him, and that would be amazing. Yeah. Another amazing piece of information.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming on, and I think we're going to have you back soon, because in the past shows we've talked about different bacteriophage, and we've got something new coming up. So we're talking about affecting the microbiome in the gut, but we've got something new coming up. So we're going to have you on shortly again, because I think we keep breaking through with some of those areas too. So I'm not going to tip our hats too much.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, it's always fun getting on.
Go ahead, Meredith. I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Well, thanks, Dr. Pompa. And thank you so much, Dr. Shayne. This is an amazing product. So many people are loving it. And it's just another amazing tool in our toolbox for cellular healing. So thanks so much. We'll look forward to the new product. And we'll see you soon in Utah next week. Really excited about the seminar. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And have a great weekend. We'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.